What's up, everybody? All right, so today I'm going to be taking you through my Vo2 Max, talking about what it is, what the hell's on my face, and just some things that affect the VO2 and my personal take on it. So, first of all, VO2 meaning volume of oxygen consumption. So VO2 max is the maximum volume of oxygen consumption that your body can take you through. By the way, you're going to notice these things popping up right about now on the bottom right hand side. That's going to point out the speed of which I'm going at. So I started at 7 miles per hour, and every minute I increased by half a mile per hour, and I did that for about 6 or 7 minutes. Let me count through that right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So about 7 minutes. Yeah, about 7 minutes and 42 seconds, which is actually a little bit shorter than the recommended time for VO2 max. My teacher was telling me that you would want to do this within an 8 to 12 minute range, and I failed. I'll admit it. I was a few seconds short. But anyways, so the thing that's attached to my mouth, okay, now you can see I went up a mile an hour. The thing that is attached to my mouth is this machine. Ultimately, it's a mouthpiece that I have on that keeps my mouth open the whole time, which is one of the variables that made me feel just a little weird. It just felt awkward having it in there. I couldn't take a gulp or swallow my saliva, so I did start drooling, which I just had to accept the fact that was going to happen. And then everything else is pretty much just supporting the mouthpiece so it's not shaking all over the place when I'm running. That too is something that my teacher made sure I had on for a while, just so I kind of reached this normal state of relaxation and I wasn't too fidgety having the equipment on. As you can see, I did do a few hand gestures throughout the run, and that's pretty much the RPE, meaning the rating of perceived exertion. So I'm pretty much telling the student next to me what level of exertion do I think I'm at. So, for example, 6 on the scale being really easy, and then 20 being extremely hard, to where I think that I've reached my VO2 and that I cannot go any further. So within the first few minutes, I was under 10, and there was 1 minute where I think I reached 9.5 or 10 miles an hour. I was like, oh crap. I quickly jumped up to 16 or 15. I forget which number, but it was pretty high. So some cool numbers that I will take into consideration, that you got to take into consideration, is your height. It's actually been proven that arterial pressure correlates positively with body heights in males. So me being 6'3", there is a pretty big advantage with the amount that blood pressure will be circulating throughout my body. When I was talking to you guys earlier, telling you, what was I telling you? I totally forgot what I was telling you. That I did not hit 8 minutes. I was at around 7 minutes. That is a problem because when we talk about the respiratory exchange rate, which is just one term that I won't get into, but when you're reaching your VO2 max, your respiratory exchange rate hits 1.1. When I finished, I was only at about 1.03. So that's one variable to take consideration, that I might have not hit my VO2 max. I will tell you my VO2 max at the end, though, at the end of this video. So I didn't hit my VO2 max. But then there were other variables that kind of said, okay, we think he did his VO2 max. Like when we talked about the rating of perceived exertion, I did tell him that I was hitting, I think I was telling him my number was 18 or 19 at the last minute, which pretty much means, yeah, you're done, you're good to go. Vamonos, you're done, get out of here. I don't know why I said vamonos. But another variable, now we're talking about that predicts that I didn't hit my VO2, is that my heart rate never went over 200 beats per minute. And for someone that's doing the VO2 max, almost all the time they're going over 200 beats per minute. My max heart rate throughout this whole thing was only 176. That was my max heart rate, and that was at the last minute. It actually started increasing a lot more. So in my opinion, I think that if I spent another minute on that, it would have shot up drastically. Okay, let's see. What else can I talk about here? So some variables that I took into account. I've never done the VO2 max, so I didn't know what to expect. That being said, I was thinking a lot during this, which was bad. I was thinking about my breathing. I was thinking about not falling off, and then I started listening to what everybody was talking about, which also threw me off. There were some people that started asking questions that I was listening to, and that, I don't want to make excuses, but that is a variable that I could take into account on saying why I couldn't go through the 8 to 12 minutes and why I didn't reach that VO2 max. And remember, the two variables that are showing that I didn't reach my VO2 max is my heart rate. I didn't go over 200 beats per minute, and my respiratory exchange rate, which never hit a 1.1. And then the two variables that show that I maybe did hit my VO2 max is my rating of perceived exertion, and the other one, which was, which one was it? I forgot what the other one was, but quick cool fact is that I was generating 166.84 liters of expired oxygen per minute. So take 166.84 liter bottles, stack them all together, and that's how much oxygen I was expiring every minute. That's freaking insane. Cool little fact that with that too. So yeah, the average is usually around, I think, like 150, 120 something. Don't know the exact number to that. But all right, that's it. That is all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any more questions, please comment below. This is the cooldown. I ended up doing the cooldown for another 5 minutes because if I was to step off, all that blood pooling would go straight to my legs and I would have passed out. But anyways, that's it. I'll see you guys later.